ディオ。
ほう、向かってくるのか。逃げずにこのディオに近づいてくるのか。
近づかなきゃてめえをぶちのめせないんでな。
ほうほう。では十分近づくがよい。
I hope you enjoyed that intro bit. It took me 30 minutes to make because I kept watching it on repeat and busting out laughing as I was keyframing it. I just finished JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stardust Crusaders, so I was amped up on it. Anyway, what's up guys? It's your boy Gazda back at it again with another one for the Archero series. If you're new to this series, we dive into gear, guides, and more 2 to 3 times per week and many times with this off-the-wall style. So if that sounds awesome, hit that subscribe button and notification bell to never miss an upload. Let us begin. You've seen it in the thumbnail, you read it in the title. We're going to call all the information on the interwebs and decide which is the better weapon once and for all in Archero between the two S-tier behemoths, Ancient Legendary Staff or Ancient Legendary Spear. Now, I have been putting off this video because I wanted to really come to a solid conclusion myself and let many players analyze the data thoroughly through multiple playthroughs, and even with all that, I realized this video will get tons of comments disagreeing, and that is okay. End of the day, I've said it many times, play with what you enjoy. It is a game after all. I also was putting this off because I felt like Super Teeds and I Pick My Butt have made these videos before, but let's throw my hat into the game with as much information as we can excavate. To excavate, however, I need your help. You see, I have a special information shovel that only works when you smash the like button and leave a comment for the YouTube algorithm. The more likes and comments, the more powerful it is, so go ahead and do that. Let's take a look at Dio, aka the Stalker staff first. 100% damage, 150% attack speed, homing projectiles, average knockback, and at rare you unlock plus 5% damage. Epic gives you the amazing buff of the lower the target's HP, the higher is the critical chance. Great pickups for this weapon is the multi-shot and diagonal arrow. With diagonal arrow, since it doesn't lower your damage output, you get triple the damage, making it clutch in smaller rooms with less enemies and bosses in boss chapters. Multi-shot on top of this wipes out the damage reduction you're eating from multi-shot by essentially guaranteeing 6 shots at an enemy, leading to massive damage. The damage was so massive, it's how I completed chapter 14. Speaking of, have you checked out my every boss guide for chapter 14? No? Well, here's the link up top, but watch it after you finish this video. It's rude to interrupt people without saying goodbye after all. Now you may say, hey Gazda, this sounds like the clear winner if you can pump out potentially 6 times the damage. Well, my buttercup, have a seat because there is a major con. It's great for single damage enemies like bosses in small rooms, but if you've been playing for any length of time, you know a lot of rooms are not that. In fact, many rooms are full of enemies and the test of skill is, can you dodge your projectiles and get the mobs before they get you? Additionally, factor in that even if you're playing with Sylvan who removes all the elemental arrows out of the ability pool, that you're still not guaranteed to land diagonal arrows in multi-shot. And the staff can be quite slow and weak comparatively with just 1 bullet. A remedy for this is side arrows with bouncy walls. Even though it lowers damage, it will help with area effect damage to make sure those projectiles aren't wasted. You can also pick up Ricochet to remedy this. Let's compare the Brightspear, aka Jotaro next. 120% damage, 95% attack speed, highest projectile speed, rare 5% damage, and its epic effect is clutch. When attacking a similar target, damage dealt will increase. This ability isn't completely worded correctly. This ability doesn't just have to hit the same monster to begin stacking the damage increase as we originally thought, but the same monster type, e.g. melee to melee, range to range, etc. A pro of the spear is it is the fastest projectile shooter in the game. A con is it is the slowest weapon in the game. You might be saying, huh? And I didn't speak incorrectly. You heard me right, it's both simultaneously. The weapon takes the longest time to animate and shoot its projectile, and even takes a bit to understand how to stutter step with it. But once that laser launches, it's off to the races, baby. The laser practically never misses because enemies can't walk out of the hitbox of it in time, as that laser is smoking hot and instant. Of course, this weapon benefits greatly like all others from multi-shot. I'd argue more so even with the damage reduction because those shots are guaranteed to hit instantly and begin that damage stacking quicker. Remember, even if your weapon does 20,000 damage a hit, if it's missing, then it's not as great as a pick as you may think. Ricochet and bouncy walls are must pickups for this baby boy because all those shots are going to be instant and shoot off each other and the walls, if you grab both. Diagonal arrows conversely, and funnily enough, sucks on the Brightspear unless you have bouncy walls because the diagonal laser shoots so straight and fast it often misses enemies. With it, however, it's like hell zone for those mobs. It's hard for them to avoid not getting hit with how fast it bounces across the room. In fact, my high score video of getting to chapter 212 on endless mode with Sylvan, Shade, and Helix was completed due to this overwhelming damage fact. What's that? You're hungry for more of my content and want to watch that video too? Well, settle down, boys and girls. Here's a link to that video too, but remember to watch that after this video first. It's bad manners after all, and you shan't get any dessert from me if you are an unruly boy or girl. Unlike the staff, you don't need diagonal arrows and multi to get value out of this weapon, but it helps, and with bouncy walls and ricochet, you have a weapon that can clear out those enemy-filled rooms quick. That is the summary of these two weapons with my conjecture. I didn't mince words or take precipitous action in my vernacular. That is my insight and playthrough, but I told you this would be a definitive and conclusive video on the matter, so let's look to Reddit and Discord to reach the apotheosis of this question. According to the pinned mega thread by Le Moutique here, Mink Mink, aka the Doctor's Guide, which is written here, it says it's outdated, states just on this page, because clicking it shows old information pre-spear and staff, that staff is better than spear. Well, that isn't definitive enough, and I haven't even given my opinion yet, so let's keep digging deeper. Deeper. Reminds me of this off-color dirty joke I learned as a kid. If the video gets 1,000 likes, I will share it with y'all. Because it's not gonna get 1,000 likes. Pure from Discord, here's the link, put out this awesome research on stutter stepping with the weapons and for staff and spear to help us reach our conclusion better, and here is what he says. Stalker staff, number of projectiles thrown per minute, average 163 throws with stutter stepping versus 121 throws with no stutter stepping. The result is stutter stepping with Stalker staff results in a plus 34.7% damage boost per minute compared to no stutter stepping at all. The Brightspear, the number of projectiles thrown per minute, average 141 throws, stutter stepping versus 100 throws, no stutter step. Result, stutter stepping with Brightspear results in a plus 41% damage boost per minute compared to no stutter stepping at all. And for clarity, he used Helix for this research to not impact the damage due to abilities is my assumption. This is interesting. The only other information I found was information that tied back to what I already covered or said in the beginning for pros and cons. The only other modifier would be heroes and abilities on top of this, but I feel that unfairly skews this, and we are looking at these items as subjectively and semantically as possible. So I'm going to deliver my opinion based on what is known and what has been said. Before I do, have you hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell? Go ahead and do that then. Alright, here we go. Let me preface this with the fact that these weapons are both on the S tier, so either is awesome, and remember to keep playing with what you enjoy the most, regardless of what I have to say next. This is just my belief based on information and my preference. I believe, not factoring in heroes or abilities, because that further complicates it and would be way too much information to cram in this video, the ancient legendary Brightspear is the current king. And I reached that conclusion because of the slightly higher damage output when you stutter step, and because you don't need diagonal arrows to get the machine oiled. For those reasons, I think it is better. It is a slight edge, but an edge nonetheless, and with these both at the top, that is all that it takes sometimes. Personally, I think it's more fun too, especially watching a ton of lasers roast those cheap ass enemies. But I have both weapons, so, take that into consideration. Do you agree or disagree, and why? And there's your question today. Which weapon do you enjoy most and why? Let me know down below. I look forward to continuing the discussion there. Before you go, check out another video to my left I recently made, as well as one YouTube is recommending for you down below. If you have already seen them, then go check out the videos I linked earlier, and good luck to everyone in the prize tournament today. As always, I'm Gazda. See you for the next one.